In this video we're going to make a little fondant flip-flop. So I've got a mix of fondant mixed with my modelling and flour paste here that's half and half. I will put links below in the little description box as to where to get all the materials and things from. So I've rolled it out, it's not really thin. And what I've got now is a little bit of blue fondant. Obviously you can use whatever colour you want. I'm going to roll it quite thin. And we're just going to cut it into little strips. So I'll take that a bit off because that bit won't be as neat. So we'll cut these into strips. If you want to measure them to get them a bit more even than mine, that's fine. Some of them aren't very even. And what we're going to do now is place the strips over our white. So I'll move this down here because I'm not sure if you can see very well. So we're just going to place these over. So this one's a little bit wider, so I'll just try stretching it a little bit, see if we can make it a little bit thinner. Same with this one. And what I'm going to do is just roll across to push those into my fondant like so. Okay. I'm going to use the little round cutter. I'm going to cut 2 circles, like so. Now obviously they don't look very flip-flop shaped at the moment. And what I'm going to do is, using this again, I'm going to take out a small section on each one, like so. And then we don't need those bits there. And then what I'm going to do is just push these slightly. So I'm pushing it in at this side so you get a kind of flat shape there. And just removing that little curve, or that point there, and curving it. And again flattening at this side like that. Okay. Now we're going to just cut off that little bit of a point on either side. And then we're just going to round that off just a little bit. It just means if you're using a round cutter and moulding it slightly, you don't need to buy cutters especially for your flip-flops. Okay, so they're our basic flip-flop shapes. So they're quite chunky looking ones rather than fine petite ones. So just move them around a little bit until you're happy with the shapes. So I'm happy with them like that. I'm just going to use the bottom end of my paintbrush to just put a small hole in where I want the thong bit of the flip-flop to go. And we'll just put a little bit of water into that hole. You can use edible glue if you prefer. I always find water works okay for me on its own. Okay, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this, and what I'll do is I'll dye it a darker colour for the thong bit. But you want to make sure you're using your gum paste or your modelling and flour paste for the strap bits on the flip-flops, otherwise you'll find they flop too easily. So I've dyed that now to the colour that I want. I've also dyed my hands as well. If it's a bit sticky, give it a couple of minutes to sort of rest before you use it. I'm going to roll it out, but not too thin. And then we're going to try and cut some quite thin strips. So that's one. 2. And we should be able to cut each of these in half to use for our flip-flop. And then what I'm going to do is just push them together like that. And I'm going to bring them to a bit of a point so that point will then go into the hole that I've made. So just make sure that hole's big enough. Okay, and I'm just going to slot that into there. I'm just going to push it in at the back a little bit. So I'm just poking it in with my paintbrush. And this one's just a little bit long at this side, so I'm going to cut it down a tiny bit here. And a little bit there. Okay, so they're about the size that I want it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water underneath the edges of those bits. And I'm just going to push those down gently onto there, like that. Okay, so it's quite a rounded little flip-flop. But I think they're quite cute like that. Okay, so there's the little flip-flops finished. Thank you for watching.
If you liked this video and would like to see more, please click on the images of the other videos suggested. Also, please do subscribe to my channel using the button at the bottom right hand corner of the screen. You can also visit my cake website and my Facebook page to see more cakes and ideas.